I'm away, I'm away, I'm away down. I'm away, I'm away, I'm away down. You're the one that was trying to keep me way down. And like the sun, no, you know I found my way back.
They tell me I should fix my grill cause I got money now. I ain't gonna sit around and front like
Hello and welcome to Jason's Sports Show. Once again, we're previewing the NBA. I'm joined again by my co-host, Matt Nakahiro.
Hello.
He likes the Lakers, so don't be too hard on him. We are back here doing the Western Conference Finals. Wait, that's not right. The Western Conference predictions. Today we're going to start the party off with the Northwest Division headed by the Portland Trailblazers. But first, we are going to look at some of these guys. So the first one going from bottom to top is the Utah Jazz. Utah, very young and very fast. What do you have to say about Utah?
Utah is not good. They will be good because eventually they're a young team and they're going to be they're looking to rebuild right now. One interesting person to look at is Dante Exum, who you could probably expect getting a lot of playing time because they want to develop this young guy and see if he actually is next Penny Hardaway.
Well, here's a good question. Who's that franchise player on the Utah roster? I like Trey Burke, but I'd like to see Gordon Hayward or Derek Favors step up to that position.
Gordon, they're also young. They're not gonna really have that one guy who's gonna stand out every single game. I think Derek Favors will be productive. I think Gordon Hayward will be productive, but they're not gonna have a superstar. And they don't have a superstar. But Gordon Hayward's interesting. I think he's overpaid. He got a max contract, but that's just so they could keep him. And I don't know. They're not gonna win a lot of games, but they'll be fine.
I feel like with Utah, they're gonna just see where they are. I feel like after those playoff runs years ago, and especially the last playoff appearance, what was that, back in 2013, was they faced the Jazz when it was the Jazz and the Spurs, I believe. No, that wasn't that. That was 2012.
It was back when they had Jaren Williams.
No, it was 2012. I think that's when they faced the Spurs. And they lost. They got swept by the Spurs, and I feel like these Jazz teams are decently okay teams. They push really hard to make it to the playoffs. They give that fan base a reason to cheer, but sometimes it's like a car that's running on very low gas. They're gonna have to run out of gas somewhere, and it's not gonna be pretty. So I think that just does that about for Utah. Utah not feeling that they're going to try to win some games. They're going to play their heart out, but
they know what they're getting
into. They know exactly. They know what they're getting into. It's not going to be pretty, but you know what? Who says it needs to be pretty? You still got to go out there and play. 16 wins, over and under.
That sounds about right. 16, maybe depending on the production of Derek Favors and Dante. I could see them winning a little more, but
Gordon Hayward is going to be there for a couple more years. He just signed a contract.
Max
contract. So we'll see where Gordon Hayward decides to spin the wheel on his hypothetical game of life. Well, joining the Jazz right next to each other is going to be the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, as you know, have gotten rid of a certain player by the name of Kevin Love. And, well, what can you say?
They're looking to rebuild, too.
Yeah, they're looking to rebuild.
They acquired Anthony Davis. Anthony Bennett.
Anthony Bennett.
Slightly different. Anthony Bennett, Andrew Wiggins. They got Zach LaVine in the draft, and they have Thad Young now, too. They're also a young team looking to rebuild. You could expect them to get a lottery pick, and like the Jazz, they know what they're getting into.
Okay, so for the longest time, people in Minnesota expected Kevin Love to be there for them and to be that franchise player. Now that he's no longer that franchise player, ever since he left, what does that have to say about this team? Like, are they just kind of out? Especially with Ricky Rubio being out, he's expected to be sidelined for the next 7 to 8 weeks. That is not good. He was injured, but this is not a very strong lineup without Ricky Rubio, in my opinion.
Even with Ricky Rubio.
Ricky Rubio. Let's look at the stat line. He gets 9 points. He gives you your 10 assists every single night. So I think that's he almost rebounds 6 rebounds per night. He's not that short for a point guard.
He's fast.
He's fast.
Not very athletic, but he's fast.
His years in Minnesota have been okay. I saw him in one of his first games back in the 2011-2012 season when they played the defending champion Mavericks during that season. He doesn't play bad. He knows what he's doing. He's in his 4th season, but he's going to be out for a while now. So that relies the load into Zach LaVine, and he's expected to step up. What can we expect from him?
Not a lot. He's athletic. You're going to see a lot of nice dunks from him. In terms of skill, he's still working on that jump shot. He's an okay distributor. I'm not entirely sure how he is on defense, but he is also a project. But like I said, they're looking to rebuild.
I really like their shooting guard core with Kevin Martin and Corey Brewer. I thought those were 2 great pickups. Corey Brewer was already on the team before this season, but I really like Kevin Martin. That was a good choice because they're gonna need scoring, and getting that kind of scoring from Martin and helping him pad his stats until he needs to leave Minnesota and go to a team that he'll probably ride the bench on will probably give him some self-confidence. But padding his stats, he's averaging 19 points per game, but that's probably because
they have no one else to.
And then Andrew Wiggins is still trying to find his place. I think he will eventually find his place. This team, I don't want to think. I don't want to think this team is that bad. Maybe it's worse on paper, but I think this team is a little bit better than it might say it is. But they're coming in around 32 and 50. Does that sound anything close to what you want?
I would say they'd probably go a little bit under. I don't think they have the chemistry needed to win in games with the roster that they have. And they don't have... They'll win games, definitely. They're better than the Jazz, but they're gonna still struggle a bit, and I think they're also gonna look for getting a lottery pick if they can.
That's an interesting division. Now you get into the better part of the division with Denver. Denver was very competitive a few years ago, and then it just kind of dropped off. They could be a playoff team still. I mean, no one's saying they're not going to be a playoff team, but let's look at who left the Nuggets this year. They got Aaron Aflalo, I think, was great because he used to play for Denver, but they didn't lose too much, in my opinion. Denver is a decent team. Let's look at their starting. They had Ty Lawson, they got Chandler, they got Kenneth Faried. I mean, this is an interesting team to look at. I mean, there's no big superstar that really comes out at you, and Ty Lawson has been sheltering the load in Denver ever since Carmelo left. This is a talented team that we could see in the playoffs. What do you think?
I'm not sure about playoffs.
Okay.
The West is just too competitive, and if you're average in the NBA, you could. If you're average in the East, maybe, but average in the West, and even with a winning percentage in the West, you could still not make the playoffs. It's just too competitive.
Does let's answer this question. Why doesn't do you think Aaron follows? Do you think this is his year? Do you think this is the year where he's going to explode and become a great player? Because I'm not gonna. In my opinion, I'm not seeing that right now for him. I feel like he needs to step up big time.
He stepped up in Orlando last year, which is the reason that he went to the Nuggets and got paid as much as he does. But last year was his was that explosion, I think, because when you're on the Magic, who else are you gonna pick? And we can expect points from him. We can expect him to get at least, in the teens in terms of points. But it's not going to be the production that he had last year.
When he was with Denver from 2010 to 2012, he had some very good field goal percentage, but that's because
he didn't take shots.
He only took about 12 or 10 shots a game, but he almost shot 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Now when he hit Orlando, his shot production obviously went up. His percentage went down a little bit, but the production was there. 18 points. Right now, I don't see him. I need to see a beacon of hope from him. I need to see 19 points. That's what I want to see. I want to see 19 points, 20 games into the season. Then I'll believe that Aaron Aflalo is
as good as he
wants to be, or as good as he can be. And then Denver can decide to make him a solid player and have him retire with them, or ship him off again. He'll be an interesting case to look at. But so do you think 42 wins is too much, or 42 wins is not enough?
Like I said, it depends on the chemistry, but 42 wins sounds about right. But the important thing to note is it enough to make it into the Western Conference playoffs?
That's always an interesting question. Well, Portland. Well, Portland last year, has proven themselves that you don't always need superstars to win in the Western Conference, because they have two homegrown players in Lillard and I almost said LaMarcus Aldridge, but then I remembered he used to play for the Jazz. So Lillard, first off, let's talk about him first. I saw him play back, I think 2 seasons ago, when the Trailblazers were not competitive, and he is a great player. That defense of that team needs to be a little bit better for them to be more competitive. I mean, let's face it, they're bound to give up almost 100 points per night, but if they can shrink down that amount of points per night, they have a good chance to survive. They're a very good offensive team. It's going to depend. They need to have a solid bench, and I know they got who they pick up? They picked up Chris Kaman.
Steve Blake.
Steve Blake was
best player of all time.
Those were really good. Those were really good. Really good pickups for them, because they already have that solid. Good starting lineup.
And they just need depth in the bench. And Chris Kaman will give you double-doubles if you let him play long enough.
Nicholas Batum, also that other homegrown player, he's been waiting a little bit. You're waiting to see how many points he can give you. And his shooting percentage has steadily been going up and down like a roller coaster. He needs to average more than... I think he needs to break that mold of the 14 point per game.
I think the thing about Nick Batum is that he's not the type of player who wants to take over games. He wants to get everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays a lot like Kawhi Leonard, in that he's not going to give you points, or a ton of points, or he's not going to give you a ton of rebounds, or a ton of assists. He's going to give you nice doses of each.
Can they rely on him down the stretch in games?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe in Nick Batum.
Answer a question answered. So we get to an interesting team right here, which is the Oklahoma City Thunder, who